Hey there, folks. Rock Online here. Very excited today to bring to you all another pack opening, in this case, box opening of BBM uh, Baseball Monthly Sumo cards. So I am a massively huge fan of the sport of sumo. Feel free to fast forward through the video. I'm not going to get offended as I wax lyrical about my introduction to the sport, but I really started watching the sport in earnest in January of 2025. As my first tournament, we saw the retirement of Toronto Fuji and the promotion of Hoshoryu to and from the rank of Yokozuna. I'm like, oh wow, this is really neat. I wonder if this this is sports crazy stuff's happening all the time. Not realizing how incredibly historical that specific tournament in that time in the sport was, to see the retirement of the 73rd Yokozuna, the promotion of the 74th Yokozuna, Hoshoryu. And then I've been an avid fan the entire last year or so, having just culminated in the finishing of the May tournament, the Natsubasho, which actually means summer tournament in English. We're seeing Wakataka Kage. So we've got the Wakataka Kage card, Series 1, BBM. Wakataka Kage card. We're going to put Wakataka Kage back here. He's going to preside over proceedings today. But very excited to open this box of cards. I haven't looked at these yet, so a little bit more background, I suppose, too. Baseball Monthly BBM puts out a set of cards a couple times a year for sumo. So the Wakataka Kage card that I just put out there is from Series 1, or the earlier set this year. In May, they typically release a second set. So this is the 2026 Sato set, Sato meaning hometown. So it's a focus more on where the wrestlers are from, different parts of the world and things like that. Some very interesting inserts and additions. The double autograph card, I mean, the holy grail of the BBM sports cards for this set. I mean, you get two for the price of one. They pair up people based on hometown, home country. So you see Hoshoryu, again, who's the Yokozuna, and Kirishima, who just actually lost that match to Wakataka Kage, the one that was just on. Highly recommend you go try and find that playoff match between the two of them that just happened. Spoiler, sorry for anybody who's watching my random video before watching the results of the Natsubasho. Yeah, so those two, both from Mongolia, so they share a card. Aonishiki and Shishi, who are both from Ukraine, have a card. Would be incredibly cool to have that card. Mainly for me as a fan of the sport, less a collector, although also from perspective of a collector. There's treasure cards. There's other inserts. Hopefully we'll see some of that stuff as we crack this open. There's 81 cards, I think, in total in the set, and then there are holographic variants of all of those base 81 cards. I'm not 100% sure. I've seen the sets before where there's like one holographic. Like I think the January set was just like a cherry blossom hologram. This one, what I've seen online is that there's 3 different holographic variants of each card, which would effectively multiply the number of cards by 4, the base set. And then off the top of my head, I can't remember, dots, stars, and something else, I think, are the different holofoils. But as we crack this open and we go through, we'll see those. So one I should probably mention too, I'm a lifelong fan of card collecting. I grew up collecting Pokemon cards. Shout out Mega Venusaur, hanging out and presiding over proceedings too, with Wakataka Kage from the previous video I had from the Pokemon card set. I still think that card's really cool, so he's gonna hang out with us for a while. And then Pon De Lion. So I have never been to Japan myself, but I've had friends that go. Shout out Dan if you happen to come across this video and put this all together. This is me. But the Pon De Lion donut guy in the back says Mr. Donut is a donut shop in Japan. Pon De Lion is one of their mascots. His main is supposed to be the donut. So I loved him a lot. I think he's going to hang out with us and sit in the background as we crack open some cards. So let's get into this thing. I'm very excited. There should be 20 packs in here in total. So let's just get started. I have been dying. I've been sitting on this box of cards for a week, trying to finally get some time together to should probably have taped down my background, but that's all right. So cool. Okay, let me get the wrapper off here. If we find anything cool, I've got another stand in the back. I've opened BBM Sumo cards. The first set that I've been introduced to was earlier this year, January 2026. And I opened, I want to say 4 boxes and got 2 numbered cards out of those 4 cases. I'll probably do another video of the cards out of that first set, because I think, again, love the sport and love sharing this stuff for anybody who's possibly interested in seeing it. Ended up with a Hakuno Fuji, now Hakuo Ho autograph, and then a Fujinakawa just numbered. Similar, I think it's gonna be similar to kind of this like treasure card, sort of a variant but numbered, which are pretty cool. So those are safely tucked away, but today we are gonna hope like heck to pull something as cool or cooler out of here. I'll go through and nerd out as we go on the details here. I'm gonna try and save this, but there we go. So I've seen some pictures of the cards. I haven't seen anything myself yet, so we will do this. Get the display up and right, and then we're going to slide this back in here. Just have that, sorry, Pon De Lion, you're going to get your face blocked a bit, but he's still back there. So we're going to start on the left side and work our way down. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and just take all 10 packs of the left side out. I'll just stack them right on top of the right side for easy access. Okay. Here we go. The first pack's always the most exciting. Gotta figure out how to get into it. You have to repeat it 20 times. 10, I guess 19 times. And then the order of things are laid out in here, I'm never sure. Alright. So we have Midori Fuji. Cool. Probably going to be a fair bit of in-depth for the first couple of cards, as I'm just getting familiar with the set and how things look. I'm working on my Japanese. I cannot read it. Can't really speak it either. I know a few words here or there, but it would be a dream of mine to eventually go to Japan and see the sumo and not walk over there as an ignorant tourist, unable to find my way around without help. So it's a dream. It's a very cool apron. It's perfect. Yeah, I love this. So this is for Shodai, Sata Namumi, Yoshino Fuji, and Fuji Seiyun, who are all the same hometown. Very cool card. It's like I mentioned, Sato means hometown, so it's going to be a lot more focus on where the wrestlers are from. They share the same hometown. Ichi Yamamoto, very cool. Hey, look at that, Wakataka Kage. All right, awesome. You know what, out of respect, that tournament was crazy, and for anyone who doesn't want to know the details of the tournament, you know now. But there were injuries to pretty much everyone. Shoryu, who's the Yokozuna, sort of the #1 ranked Yokozuna 1 East, played about 2 or 3 days, and he was injured and out. Oh no, Sato was out from the beginning. He's been dealing with an injury since November. This guy, I mean, hands down, has to be the best sumo wrestler in the world. Honestly, I don't remember the exact number. It's gonna be 3 of the last 7 or 4 of the last 7 tournaments. When he is on, no one can stop Onosato. But he had tore a muscle, I think, in his left pec in November of 25, and has just not been the same since. And the way sumo works too, they're effectively on every 6 weeks. So they wrestle every 2 months. The tournament lasts 15 days. In between that, if you just do the math on that, if you're wrestling for 15 days and you have a tournament every 2 months, it gives you roughly 45 days between the end of that tournament and the start of the next one. There are social obligations and tour obligations and things like that. So there's not a lot of downtime. And if you're not Yokozuna, if you're not grand champion, if you're not that highest level, every time you don't play, you lose rank. Which gets us to Aonishiki. Aonishiki, the Ukrainian sensation. I mean, just very exciting to watch. A lot of the wrestlers are. But he's new, he's young, he's up and coming. Got all the way up to the 2nd highest rank of Ozeki, but got hurt. And he broke his toe before the previous tournament, and then had an injury. I think he twisted his ankle pretty severely before this tournament here in May. And so he's going to end up being demoted in the July tournament. But again, you hope for these guys to heal up. Takayasu, aka Papa Bear, love Takayasu. He's finished runner-up, I think a record nine times. I think one of the tournaments, it was either January or March of 25. He finished runner. It was one of the first ones I watched. It's just a very like exciting wrestler to watch, but he's hurt. He was out. Kota Zakura only managed to make it, I think, 11 or 12 days, but he wasn't having a good tournament anyway. So it's one of those, like, once you cross the losing amount, once you get to 8 losses out of 15 days, generally speaking, there's not a lot to gain by playing if you're hurt. So take the time. Anyway, a sidetrack to say, this tournament was really crazy. Going into the last day, there were 7 people that were either in the lead, 2 guys in the lead, or 5 guys 1 back. So it could have been up to a 7-way. I guess technically 2 of the guys that were 1 back played each other, so a 6-way playoff. Very exciting going to the last day. As it happened, the 2 leaders, Kirishima and Wakataka Kage, both won and played in the playoff. Was very exciting. Highly recommend to go check that out. Give a shout out actually to Sumo Geek. Great channel, fantastic recaps, and quick too. You can wake up again. The tournament was roughly like 4:30 in the morning. I'm on East Coast, Eastern time, so 4:30 roughly a.m. here. The video's up, late by the time you get up to like 9 or 10 in the morning. The next day. Great recaps and very clean, crisp visuals. I should also shout out a couple other channels too. I don't know these guys, but I have watched their stuff. They've helped me tremendously get into the sport. I apologize for the slow pack opening. We'll speed up as I continue to wax lyrical here. But Sumo Files, Vinny over at Sumo Files, fantastic channel. Great recaps with like analysis and stuff. Highly recommend. Very bite size, which generally is good. He could do long form stuff if he wanted to. Like, he's just very entertaining and enjoyable to listen to, but does great work. Sumo Spiffy is another great channel. Does some great topics. Had a great video on AI slop in videos, sumo recap and videos and story videos and things like that just really struck a chord with the community. Sort of reignited this like connection between actual people in the field of putting stuff together, content creation for sumo. But a fantastic channel too. And then Chris Sumo, gotta shout out Chris Sumo. No one that I have observed more connected to the actual day-to-day life of stuff going on in the world of sumo, typically between tournaments. I think he's in country most likely. Like I said, I don't know anyone in any of this stuff, but I get the impression he's in country, so he's probably enjoying the sumo while it's happening, but does incredible work between tournaments on just like the day-to-day stuff. He added a lot of like practice recaps for this tournament in the lead up to the tournament, like day-to-day of like who's doing what, who's wrestling where, the results of things, how people are feeling. Fantastic. I would highly recommend any of those channels. There's a lot of fantastic content creators in this space. So anyway, back to the cards. Fujiseiyun, and then we get our first of the holofoil. So it looks like the last card is always going to be the holofoil. I think you can see that pretty well on the camera. It's sort of a dot pattern on that. So it'll show me on the holofoil side. We'll try and just keep some of these. Typically, I would sit here and sleeve all of these on camera. I'm not going to subject everyone to that unless we get something good. Then we're definitely. I'm not crazy. We will stop and sleeve anything that's. I love the apron here. That is absolutely incredible. Cute penguin. Okay. But we'll separate out the try and keep those in frame. There we go. Our foils from our non-foils. All right, pack 2. So the last card we're seeing is whatever the special card is. Okay, well that I think actually is one of the variants. Another scene. I read it was online. It was secret photo, I think. So that might be one of the alternates we're looking at, or it could just be a holofoil version. I see card number 76. It makes me think that's just part of the run. We'll see. Shodai, Takanosho, Shishi, Aonishiki's countrymate, same hometown. Yeah, so these two. So there's Kirishima again. Kirishima wasn't Ozeki back in the day, lost the rank. Got promoted back to Ozeki by winning the March tournament, not the May one that just finished, but the March one. So he won that and was in a playoff for the May one. So we could be looking at, fingers crossed, the 76 there, Yokozuna. There's a chance. The way it works is if you're at the Ozeki rank, you either need to win back-to-back tournaments or effectively finish second. There's a little bit of ambiguity because some of the, I don't know, the qualifications, I suppose, it's not set in stone specifically. It's up to a council, the Yokozuna Council, to make those decisions. Generally speaking, based on past precedent, either 2 wins or 2 second place finishes would be sufficient to earn promotion to Yokozuna. He is wrestling out of his absolute mind right now. That day 15 match against Ura was one of the most just like brutal. Again, go check out Sumo Geek. Fantastic recap of all the day 15 and the playoff Kirishima's match against Ura. I think it was Ura. Hopefully Ura. Was great. But same whole town, Hoshoryu and Kirishima would just absolutely die to find a dual autograph of these 2 guys. Hoshoryu, don't talk enough about Hoshoryu. Dude is fantastic, an excellent wrestler, and he has not won a tournament as Yokozuna yet, but it's coming. I mean, he's just it's just so excited, just such command of the ring when he's in there. So very excited for this. Would love to find this one. Wakamoto Haru. Okay, and it looks like this is probably just a card in the series, and it's just got that wonderful little dot holofoil. So we've seen a dot holofoil. I have been told there are more holofoil types, but we'll see as we go through. Probably put this on camera too, just for posterity's sake. So here's what the pack looks like. Same as the top of the box there. Incredibly cool. And the phone number for the actual company. Call them up. Pack number 3. Come on, there we go. I try not to look. You'll look, obviously, because you're watching the video, but try not to look at the last card, just for keeping it mysterious. Onosato, best wrestler in the world when he's healthy. Get healthy, please, Onosato. Want you back in this game. So much fun to watch you wrestle. Ah, cool. Aonishiki and Shishi. Aonishiki, 21 years old, moves to Japan to wrestle from his war-torn, invaded country, Ukraine. Just not enough plaudits for this guy and his exciting style of sumo. You know, he's definitely, you know, I would say if such a thing's existed, he's the rock star of sumo right now. He's the guy that everyone's excited for. You know, sad for him to see that he's hurt, but this is the first time he's really even been slowed down in his ascent up the ranks. So here's hoping, you know, Aonishiki, just like Onosato, take your time, please get better. The sport is better with you in it and healthy. Same for that's everyone who's hurt. So many people hurt this tournament. And Shishi's got the coolest apron. I do not remember the word for the apron specifically, but I love this line apron. I would love to find a small replica or something just to have this, because I think it's incredibly cool. But yeah, so they're both from Ukraine. Very cool card. Very cool concept. I like the hometown one. Thought process. Hakuna Fuji. How can I stop him under as Hakuna Fuji? I might have said that backwards. No, that is right. He was Hakuo Ho. Now Hakuna Fuji. Hakuna Fuji. Ura. Toki Hayate. And Ashoma. Okay, so I see a dot. We're on 3, right? Like, if there's a different sort of holofoil, I feel like, especially because I've been told there were 3 different ones, if there's a different holofoil, I would expect to have seen it out of 3 cards. And statistically, of course, possible that we would, you know, could have gotten 3 straight of the one type and not the other. But that's, we will continue on. I saw it was Onosato on the last card. Uh-oh. All right, that's cool. Fuji Ryoga, Yoshino Fuji. Love Yoshino Fuji too. Relatively new wrestler, but just when he's on, and he is great. So love Yoshino Fuji. Kurinoumi, Kirishima again. Kirishima, so close to back-to-back U shows, just phenomenal. Great wrestler, top of his game right now. All right, and we've got Asakoryu, Ura, and Gonoyama, all from Osaka. Very cool. We got Onosato, sparkly foil. Ooh, very cool. Okay. Pack number 5. When this is all done too, I am an absolute nerd for stat tracking and keeping track of things. I will try and put something up around card list, what I'm still looking for. I have other boxes, so I'm hoping to get the other boxes on camera for these 2 as we crack open some other things. So we've got Hoshoryu, phenomenal wrestler. Chiyoshoma, not that everyone is a fantastic wrestler. Speaking of fantastic wrestlers, Tamawashi, just incredible. He did not have a great tournament this time. I want to say he finished 2-13, but it might have been 3-12. He is Sumo's Iron Man, the most consecutive top flight matches in the history of the sport. So, without again divulging into another 5-minute side path here, Sumo's got divisions. So the top division is sort of the big one. That's where a lot of these guys are. We may see some Juryo guys. So Makuuchi is the top division. Juryo's this next division down. Tamawashi has played in, I want to say 1,650 or so, now more, I think, given this tournament, consecutive matches, which is insane. They do 6 tournaments a year for 15 days, which means they do 90 matches a year. He has played 1,650 plus consecutive tournaments without missing a match due to injury. To stay in the top division that long, incredible. To stay in the top division that long and not be hurt. And the longevity of this gentleman, 41 years old, out there still wrestling. I think he's sitting fairly low in the rankings, so he had a pretty bad tournament. So I'm fingers crossed that he sticks around at least for one more tournament in the top division, you know, and keeps his record going. But just a fantastic guy and a fantastic wrestler. So shout out Tamawashi. Nishiki Fuji, Dai Seizon. Very cool. I just don't know if this was like a, again, based on the numbering of these, it says 67. Makes me think that this is part of this normal run of cards. It has a different, they just have somewhat different designs on them than Wakamoto Haru. Okay. I'm putting money down on the fact that there's only one, but there's only one olive foil, based on the fact that we are looking at dots yet again. Okay, so that's 5 packs down. Pack number 6. Oh, we got Onishiki on the back. That's good. I can see Onishiki. I don't like to cheat. Look at the back. It's just how the pack's open. I could probably open it another way, but it's just as exciting this way. Onishiki. Tommy Fuji. Oh, shout out to Tommy Fuji. Heaviest wrestler in the top division. He out pips Ono Sato by, I genuinely can't remember, maybe 5 pounds, 10 pounds, something like that. He finished runner-up to Onishiki in January's tournament. And it just is one of the, everything I've ever seen. I've never met the man. One of the nicest, genuinely nicest people out there. So sweet, such a good guy, and just a killer wrestler. Had a decent tournament too. I think he finished with a winning record. I think he finished with 9-6, which means he'll retain his rank, which is good. Can't remember if he's Sekiwaki or Komusubi in this one, which would be Yokozuna, Ozeki, Sekiwaki, Komusubi, and then sort of the rank and filers of the top division. So he's sort of in that higher tier. Nobutomi Fuji, Yoshina Fuji again, Hiroshima again, and another. That's awesome. Like flexing pose, that's great. Hiroto Tommy Fuji again, fantastic. Take a second to Tommy Fuji. Oh, we got the Aonishiki, another scene card where it looks like he's signing autographs. That's incredibly cool. Love it, love it, love it. Excellent. All right. Love an Aonishiki. All right. Chiyoshima, Ono Sato. All right. Same amount of time again. Aonishiki and Shishi. We saw that one earlier. Hiroshima again. Flexing the guns. Hiroto. Now we got our Midori Fuji and Atami Fuji. Same hometown card. Incredibly cool. Sorry if I paused there. Again, I'm equally showing these cards and fanning over them at the same time. So try and keep the commentary going so you're not bored. All right. Tommy Fuji again. I think with there being only 81 cards and it's 6 cards per pack, at a certain point in time, you're going to hit duplicates. This will speed up as time goes on as we don't see the new stuff come in. We saw this is the same hometown card we saw earlier too. Tamawashi again. Nishiki Fuji. Koto Shoho and Koto Eiho, the brothers. Both had decent tournaments this time too. I think Kotoeho was in it until pretty far down the line. I don't think he was one of the second place guys, but I think he might have been 2 off the pace going into the last day. Had a great tournament. Was one of the tournament leaders, maybe around day 7 or day 8. Known for his foot stamps. So part of, if go watch sumo stuff, I'm not going to do is remotely any justice, but part of the ring entering ceremony, you do foot stomps. This guy will basically do vertical splits, standing on one foot and extending the other foot into the air. It's incredible. He's known for it. Incredibly happy to see him get some respect for his sumo too, because like he's just so good. This tournament was very, very good, and one where he's hopefully sees an upward trajectory as a result. And Ichi Yamamoto, fantastic. All right, on to the next pack. Midori Fuji, Tommy Fuji again. Fujinokawa. Love Fujinokawa too. He's one of the smaller guys in the top tier, but man, puts up a heck of a fight. Had a decent tournament. No, I think I'm not thinking of the same guy. Had an okay tournament, but has had great tournaments coming up to this point, so hopefully he bounces back. Tamawashi, look at you. Love Tamawashi. So good. I think he's sewing. Incredibly cool. A cool card. Takayasu. Papa Bear. Known as Papa Bear. Good, very, very good wrestler. 9 second place finishes. He's just consistently good, consistently around the top of the rankings. Love to see him get a win. Takanosho. Oh, I think he's doing the top knot. So the sumo wrestlers, just, I mean, as you see in all of the other cards we've seen, everybody keeps the top knot. That's the hairstyle. So I remember reading through some of the details of the set before I recorded this video that there was one, I think it might be Takanosho, was doing the demonstration of the ceremony around the top knot. Then we got Roga too on the hollow foil. I think this is pack number 10. Halfway through the box. Like I said, I was in previous sets, it was one in every other box for sort of a big card of some kind. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's roughly the same for this. All right, so we've got Oho, Yoshino Fuji again, Daisho, Wakamoto Haru. Get this light. Twist this light a little bit out of the way. I think I keep picking it up. I don't know how many times I practiced going through this. I still managed somehow to pick up a light going across the front of the card, which doesn't make for good viewing. Wakamoto Haru, Asakoryu and Asasuryu. I think they're brothers too. Again, showing my ignorance of the sport, but I think Asasuryu had a good tournament this time. But I'm talking absolutely out of the side of my mouth. I'm going to be entirely wrong about all that and look like a fool. But great card. And the Mitaki Yumi. Get on the foil. Very cool. All right, 10 down, 10 to go. Get the last 10 packs out for ease of access. You know what? Yeah, we'll let them cover up Pon De Lion. All right, pack number 11. Let's see what we got going on. And I think based off what we're seeing, that there really is only the one foil type on these dots. Could be wrong and go 10 packs, so it would be pretty unlikely, but possible. Ashoma, Kodazakura, the third Ozeki at this past tournament. So Kirishima, who finished runner-up, Aonishiki was out. Kodazakura had fantastic practice sessions leading into this Natsubasho. Terrible tournament, and it's unfortunate because his pre-tournament sumo looked really, really good. Again, shout out Chris Sumo and all those guys that are doing all that work around the what people are getting up to in the like all stables practices and stuff like that. But I love Kodazakura. Another names, like I think the entire time I've been watching sumo, he's been at the Ozeki rank, so he's been consistently at that second highest tier. Great wrestler. Onosato with the umbrella. I did read about this. That is awesome. guys genuinely like, not to say that any other sport doesn't do this, because they all do, but like genuinely there's just like always out in the community and always doing stuff. You know, they live in um the different sumo studios. That's not the word I want. I can't think of the word I want there. That stables, live in the stables, which are in the neighborhood, so you see them out and about a lot, and they always seem like they're very approachable and generally pretty nice guys. So that's pretty cool. Kimbo-san, Sonayama. Oh, cool. Kaio and Cherno Umi. So Kaio's down in Juryo, but he was up in Makuuchi a couple times, I want to say, over the last couple tournaments. Maybe November. But very cool. Pack number 12. Asahaku, Kaio and Trinumi again. Ichi Yamamoto. Oh yeah, chest lending. So again, another thing about them sort of being out in the community, they will have the kids, the kids sumo wrestlers come in, and they will what they call chest lending is generally just letting other people use you like a for lack of a better term, like a practice dummy. And so they'll chest lend for the kids, which is just hilarious because it's always, you get some of the guys who are a little bit more stern who won't let the kids push them out, and then the ones that will. But I mean, generally it's always pretty well received. Very fun. Ura, I want to say it's Ura. Pronouncing it Ura. Umi. The Banzuke. Again, for anyone unfamiliar with sumo, this is before each tournament they will announce the rankings of all 6 divisions, and so it's literally, you know, the closer you are to the top and to the center of the Banzuke, the higher you are. So typically, you know, you see guys when they get the promotion to a specific rank or to the top division, you know, the photograph with them at their press conference highlighting that. So I'm guessing that's what it is for Hiroumi. I got the brothers again on the dot foil. Very cool. Show me. Onishiki, fantastic. I always like the Onishiki cards. Solo cards, we'll have that one. Tobizara had a great tournament too. Fell off a little bit late, but fantastic tournament for him here in May. Roga, Gonoyama, and Onokatsu on the foil. Getting to the end. Like you're on the back. Shoryu, Asakoryu, Kodoshoho, Kodoeho, Shimazuumi. I think there's a run of, I don't recognize the name. Again, showing my ignorance for the sport. I know there were a handful of cards when I was doing research on the set where they had included, typically it's going to be all the top division guys as announced for, I want to say it's for the previous tournament. Obviously the set came out here in May, but there's a lead time for all the stuff that needs to be done. So probably it would be March's Banzuke. It was all the top division guys, a selection of Juryo guys, which is the second tier. And then they had an inclusion for 4 or 5 sort of legends of the sport, I think based out of Japan. So I will show my ignorance. I do not know who Shimazuumi is, but I will look them up in the next time when we open another box and find one. I can speak a little bit more intelligently to who they are. In the new era on the foil. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 packs left. So we are going into there we go. Pack number 15. And we have got Kirishima on the flex on the back. That's great. Candid shots, those are always the best ones. Shoma, Shoryu, and Asahaku, all from Mongolia. Very cool. Very cool card. I like the concept. Go to Zakura. and sort of the alternate, another scene card. Very cool. Masato no Shomi. Oh, this is a pack just loaded up with all the alternate cards compared to sort of the normal ones. Aonishiki again. Sending autographs from Takayumi. They've got Kirishima on the flex. I love that. That is awesome. It's such a funny concept and pose. It shows a lot of humor and humility. Alright. Shomi, Chiranoumi, Kirishima again. Isakoryu, Yura, and Gonoyama, all from Osaka. Okay. Takayumi. Again with the Banzuke. We got Kota Sakura. Ah, haha. So I was wrong. You can see that. I'm about to go, I'll go back through the foils here. There is a different foil. Wow, that is a heart-shaped foil. That is definitely a different foil card. Interesting. Let's take real quick while we have all these here. I feel like I would have seen it before if it had popped up with a different one. Here are all the foils that we've opened so far. These are all dots. I stand wildly corrected. There is actually a different foil in this. That's crazy. So that is an actual different variant of this card. Wow. So it does increase. I mean, so we've opened 16 packs of cards and got one foil, which means that there are, I guess potentially at that point then, I thought it was dots, stars, and I couldn't remember it was hearts, which means there are 81 variants of, the variant of all of the 81 cards. It took 16 packs to find this one with the hearts, which means again, if you were lucky enough to get one of these every 16 packs and there are 81 cards, whatever 16 times 81 is, 810 and 480 and 6. 810, 400. It's like you'd have to open 1,300 packs of cards to get all of these. And it's again, assuming the statistical likelihood that it's one in every 16 packs. Neat card though, and a good wrestler too to get that one on too. I like Kota Sakura. I'm a stats guy. It's very, very interesting to try and do the math on all that. Which means, again, we've gone 16 packs so far and haven't seen the other variant. So questioning whether it exists, first off. But secondly, I mean, my goodness, if it's even more rare than that. Oshima, Hoshoryu, and Asahakuyu. Seen that one before. Kota Sakura again. Sato no Shomi. Aonishiki again. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah, so this is one of the guys. Yeah. Takami Sakari. Again, I will bone up on this for the next box to be a little bit more familiar with these cards come through, but I recognize this because of the juice. I think it's cherry juice. I don't remember the context. I just remember reading, oh, cherry juice, neat. So I'll bone up on that one. And we've got the same Asakoryu, Yura, and Gonoyama Osaka card in the dot foil. I should probably clarify dot foil going forward instead of heart or potentially star. I got Shishi. Oh, we got Nishiki and Shishi on the back. Fuji Ryoga, Yoshino Fuji, Shoryu and Kirishima again. Wakamoto Haru, Abi, and then the Ukraine boys, Nishiki and Shishi, on the dot foil. Just realized there is a. No, okay. You see that? There's a tiny like protrusion on the bottom. Oh, see? It took me 19 packs, but we got there. That's how they want you to open it. I feel nervous tearing things down to tear against the like top of cards, which is why I open it the way I do. The only thing I'm really doing damage to is the card pack. So it's probably not the correct way to open cards, but it's the way that I'm going to open cards. Shoryu. This is Yokozuna apron. Not an apron, though. I'm going to kick myself for not remembering the term from that. Shodai. Cool apron. Again, the wrong term there. Akano Fuji. Yura. Akano Fuji again. And then Takanosho on the dot foil. And then last pack. Last chance at greatness. Could be all double autographs. Probably not meant to be, but that's okay. This is, again, just exciting for the experience. Midori Fuji. Takanosho. Shishi. Ichi Yamamoto, Wakataka Kage, congratulations again, Wakataka Kage, and Oho. on the dot foil. Well, thank you very much for watching again. You know, this was incredibly fun, and like I said, I've got other boxes, so the intent would be to come back through here as we go back through all the foils, the mostly dot foils with the one hard foil. Go to Zakura on the hard foil again. Pretty cool. Hiroshima or Onokatsu. The Asakoryu Asasuryu brother card. Kaio and Chernoumi. Takayumi, Roga, Ichiyamamoto, Midori Fuji, and Atami Fuji. Onishiki signing autographs. Wakamoto Haru, Ono Sato, Oshoma, Yoshina Fuji, throwing up a peace sign, and Oshomi. Again, thank you very much for watching. If you're a fan, stick around, subscribe. I also do video game stuff, so, you know, maybe non-subscribe, entirely up to you if you just want to stick around for the sumo stuff, but there will be more of these in the future. So